11th class. We are back with our another phylum. Yesterday we talked about tapeworms. We talked about liver fluke, and or we can say that we talked about our phylum, that was Platyhelminthes. Today we will move. We are moving to our fifth phylum, that is your Aschelminthes. Whenever I teach this phylum, I always it includes one example to please keep it in mind. It will help you to learn the characteristic of this phylum. Right. Always with the example, it is always better to learn about the phylums or the groups. So here we are going to talk about today roundworms. Yesterday we talked about flatworms, and today we are going to talk about roundworm, because actually you can, when we cut their cross section, their body appears circular, right? Because that is the reason they are known as round worms. They are also given another name, that is Nemathe and their members are known as nematodes or round worms because of their appearance. Now they, so nematoda, nemathehelminthus, ascahelminthus, बहुत सारे बच्चों को लगता है कि that is a different phylum. So please keep in your mind that this phylum Ascahelminthus, also known as Nemathehelminthus, and the members, they are known as nematodes or round worms. This much is clear. So now let's talk about the general features. They are triploblastic. Yesterday we started with the group in which first time triploblastic was observed, that is your Platyhelminthes. It means all the systems in this phylum, they are developed from three germ layers. Which are those three germ layers? Ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. Now we are started with the phylum which are having bilateral symmetry. One thing which you will observe in this phylum is they are pseudocoelomates, means they are having false body cavity. Mesodermal layer will not be well developed. It will be present only in the patches. That is what we discussed in our first lecture, that what are pseudocoelomates, what are eucoelomates, what are acoelomates. What are the features which you will observe first time in this phylum? That is the reason you have to separate them out, क्योंकि characteristic तो सबकी common है, triploblastic, bilateral, radial symmetry. But what is new? So this phylum, it has a tube within tube body plan. What do you mean by this now? They have complete alimentary canal. This is first time, this is the first phylum from which you will start observing complete alimentary canal, and this type of body plan is known as tube within a tube body plan. Those in which there is a single opening, single mouth and anal opening, that was yesterday we said them blind sac body plan, right? And those in which alimentary canal is complete, they are known as tube within a tube body plan. It means at the anterior end, matlab at the tip, front, upper side of your body, upper side of the body, they will have mouth, and the posterior end, at the bilkul end side pe, at the tip, you or not the tip, if suppose you are drawing here, then at the anterior end, this one will be the anterior end. Here you will find the mouth, and here there will be anus. So one end will be act as mouth, and other end there will be anus. They have a very well developed muscular pharynx. So with the complete alimentary canal, other things they are also developed. Body wall, because they are triploblastic body wall is made of 3 layers. Now their body wall means their outermost layer, that is your ectoderm. It is further made up of 3 layers. What are these layers? Now outermost layer is cuticle, and this actually protect the alimentary canal, protect these animals from the juices which are present in alimentary canal. So outermost covering or outermost layer which is present in body wall is cuticle. Then they have multinucleate cellular like condition, that is epidermis, and the innermost layer which is observed in the body wall, that is muscular layer, and it having longitudinal muscles. So first outermost side पे मिलेगी हमें cuticle, and then is the epidermis, which is syncytial in nature. Syncytial means those with that layer which has multinucleated cells. This will have multinucleated cells. ऐसा नहीं है कि uninucleate condition नहीं है, multinucleate cells. Third phylum Aschelminthus, that it is also written as utili. Utili is it means the number of cells. Please listen to this. Utili is in which that if they have suppose in their digestive system, in the starting when they are growing, they have 10 cells. Till the adult stage or when they are fully matured, the cells will be 10 only, right? Their number is fixed. So number of cells in every system is fixed, that is not changed even when they grow to they get matured. The number remains same. This type of condition is known as utili, right? And this is observed in these round worms. Now if we talk about excretory tube, they have an excretory pore through which waste they are removed from the body cavity. Then they show sexual dimorphism. They are not hermaphrodite, they are male and female, they are separate. It means male and female ascaris, you will find them differently. Even they are so distinguished in even with the external characters, with the morphological characters. जैसे ही आप उनके बाहर से भी देखोगे, you will be easily recognize, you can easily recognize that this is a female and this is a male, right? So male and female, they are separate, so they show sexual dimorphism. Example, I told you that we are taking here one example, that is Ascaris lumbricoides, which is also known as, that is your round worm. Now here we are going to compare male with the female because they both are separate. Males, when we draw males, they you can see that they are little smaller in size as compared to females. At the anterior end, you will find this mouth, and then they have excretory pore very close to mouth. They have excretory pore through which waste they are throwing out from the body. Then at the posterior end, can you see here this opening? At the posterior end, males, they have opening which is known as cloaca, and this is a common opening for digestion as well as common opening for reproductive system. Very 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 special characteristic. Usually cloaca जो होती है, that is a common opening for excretion, digestive and reproductive, but for excretory system they have excretory pore, and for digestive system and reproductive system they have common opening, that is cloaca. Now if we talk about the female body is little straight as compared to males, right, and bigger. The one thing which you have to keep in mind, the body is little straight, as not very much bended like males, and it is straight. So at the anterior end you will find mouth, right? There is mouth at the anterior end, then there is excretory pore. Now at the posterior end they do not have cloaca. There is anus, which is observed in the females. Opening in the females is known as anus, and close to anus they have genital pore. This anus is only opening for digestive system. For opening of the reproductive system they have genital pore, right? Very close to anus, female ascaris, they have genital pore which is opening in reproductive system. So one major difference, that in the males they have cloaca, which is common opening for digestive system as well as reproductive, but in the females opening they are different. For digestive system they have anus, and for reproductive opening they have genital pore, right? Then close to cloaca, in the males very close to cloaca they have copulatory seta. This helps in copulation. And in the very close to anus, females they have genital pore. This is the morphological differences. These are morphological differences between males and females, right? Males they have little bended body from the posterior end, and females they have a little straight body but bigger in the size. Now internal differences, in males only one set of reproductive system, means one pair of testes and one pair of glands, but in females every system has two sets. Every system, not every system, two sets of reproductive system. This condition is known as diadelphic. And in the males, because there is only one pair of reproductive system, that condition is known as monarchic, right? It is known as monarchic. And two sets को बोलते हैं हम diadelphic. Now these worms, these round worms, or you can say these phylum, they are monogenetic. They complete their life cycle. These round worms, they complete their life cycle in one host, and usually it is human beings. The question which comes in mind is that how do we get roundworm infection? Definitely. How do we get roundworm infection? Usually young children, they get infected by these roundworms. Mostly you must have seen कि बच्चों को डायरिया बहुत जल्दी कई बार लगता है. That is because they keep their hand in mouth while they are playing in soil. That soil is contaminated by these roundworms' egg. So when the child is putting hand directly in its mouth, then it is getting contaminated by these roundworms. And sometime if a child is eating unwashed fruits or vegetables or any eatable item which is not properly washed, then on those vegetables and fruits, these roundworms, they grow because they grow in contaminated soil, right? These vegetables, if they are growing in contaminated soil means infected with, or you can say where roundworms are present. So then if you are not washing those fruits and vegetable, then it will go directly in the children's digestive system. So roundworms, they live in our digestive system. They depend on food which is partially digested, and they are anaerobic. If we talk about their habitat, they can be aquatic, they are terrestrial also, as well as major forms which we know, they are parasitic. Disease which is commonly caused by ascaris is known as ascariasis. What do you mean by ascariasis? Because this is the roundworm, right? It results in irregularities in digestive system, leads to diarrhea, abdominal cramps. These are the symptoms which are observed after the infection with the roundworm. Fertilization, internal. Development can be direct or indirect. So these are the examples of our roundworm. As you can see, this is the example of ascaris, which is known as roundworm. Then there is filarial worm. This is which cause filariasis, elephantiasis, and finally this is known as hookworm, right? This is commonly known as hookworm, and scientifically it is known as Ancylostoma. So now I give you lot of examples of this group, that is Escalminthus. That Ascaris is known as roundworm, Butyraria is filarial worm, and Cyclostoma is hookworm. So many questions definitely they are coming in our mind, that hookworm, filarial worm, roundworm. Although you are clear very much with the roundworm, that because of their appearance, if you just look at the appearance of ascaris, they look like their cross section is also circular in the shape. But filarial worm, actually Butyraria is why it is known as filarial worm, because it is a, first thing you should be clear that it is a parasite. It is a human parasitic, and it majorly attack on our lymphatic system and cause lymphatic filariasis. जैसे आपने ना हमने elephantiasis पढ़ा था, जिसमें there is the swelling, राइट आपके जो लिम्फ नोड्स हैं वो स्वेल हो जाते हैं, स्वेलिंग ऑफ योर लेग्स, जो बिकॉज ऑफ द infection in the lymph nodes. So lymphatic system get infect, and the condition is known as lymphatic filariasis. That is the reason the worm which caused this filariasis, it is known as filarial worm by the common name. That is the reason Butyraria is a filarial worm. But then in Cyclostoma, we are calling it as a hookworm. Just look at its body. As you can see, its upper portion, that is the head portion, you can say it is bended like a hook, right, as compared to the whole body. It is a pale gray in color, and head is bent a little as compared to the rest of the body to form a hook like shape. That is the reason it is known as hookworm. So three examples, three common names. Ascaris, it is known as roundworms because they commonly appear like the round in shape. Butyraria because it causes filariasis, and Cyclostoma because its head, it bends and appears like a shape of a hook. So it is known as hookworm. So go through these examples and go through the characteristic feature of this phylum, and I am really very much sure that you will be able to solve lots of questions from this phylum very easily. And wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy your Christmas day to the fullest, and we will meet with the another phylum, that is Annelida. Till then, please enjoy your day and take a little break, and then we will start with the fresh mind.